Proverbs 31. Today's verse is verse 26, and it is something, I think I say this every day, it's very near and dear to my heart. Something that is particularly a weakness of mine, and something that I really have to work on and watch. So, verse 26, she openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. I couldn't tell you how many sermons I have heard, how many things I've read on the power of the spoken word, and wow, y'all. I wish I had $1 for every time I'd heard it. But the thing is it's so critical. I shared a link in a story prior to this, and if you're rewatching this on YouTube, I'll share the link in the description. And it's to a study done by a gentleman. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but he did an experiment years ago. It's an old experiment where he put rice in similar containers, and then he spoke to the rice over a period of time. And I'm sorry, the amount of time escapes me. I want to say it was a couple of weeks, but he documented what happened to the rice. One container he spoke loving, kind words. One container he spoke harsh words, and the last container he completely ignored. And to see the difference in the 3 containers over a period of time was absolutely phenomenal, y'all. It was crazy. So just diving into this verse a little bit more, dissecting it. Of course, I had to go to the Amplified and see what it says. The Amplified says, she opens her mouth in skillful and godly wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. And in brackets it said, giving counsel and instruction. So, wisdom, interestingly enough, my husband and I are currently reading through Proverbs in our morning devotions together. And so wisdom is something that is very much on the forefront of my mind as of late. I've also taken my boys through Proverbs because, let's face it, it was written by, this is terrible, I just went blank. Proverbs was written as a book of instruction to sons. And so I tried to impart that onto my boys, and hopefully it's stuck. I guess we'll find out as they age. I say that with a little bit of jest. We all hope that our teaching sticks with our children as they age. But the good news about wisdom is, even though we're not born with it, even though it doesn't come upon us immediately with marriage or at a certain birth date, the good news is that there is hope for wisdom. And wisdom is simply defined as the right use or exercise of knowledge. And of course, there's more to the definition, but that was the basis of wisdom, the right use or exercise of knowledge. And James 1, chapter 1, verse 5 tells us, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally. That means freely, without hesitation, without limitations. And he upbraideth it not, and it shall be given him. Again, another confirm. Apparently I can't talk this morning. I'm needing some prayers for what's coming out of my mouth. This is terrible, okay? We're talking about wisdom. Wow. This just like blew my mind. Here I am struggling so bad to talk, and what the content of this verse is. Maybe I need to stop and have some prayer and ask the Lord for wisdom. Anyhow, because he does promise he will give it liberally, without limitation, without limitations. And then it says it shall be given. It's a promise. It is not it might be upon condition. No, it shall be given to him. And I believe the him applies to me as well, her. So the point is, ask and you shall receive. As I think about how powerful words are, I was reminded of Proverbs chapter 18 that says in verse 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And wow, when you stop and think about that, especially as we speak to our families, to our children, to our husbands, what are we speaking over them? I know for myself, when my boys were small, I did not let them wear t-shirts that had words like brat or boss of the house or the real boss, or some of those other slightly derogatory phrases that, let's face it, our words have power. And I never wanted to label my children with those types of words, with those types of phrases, because you are what you speak. And that's not what I wanted for my children. I would rather put something on them that was positive and uplifting and encouraging for them. So another thing that struck me is just the other day, a minister at our church actually spoke along these lines, and he read Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to use of edifying, that it might minister. And at the time, I remember him talking about it, and he mentioned, he said, does that mean we can't joke around? Does that mean we can't have a good time? No, he didn't think that's what it meant. But he brought out about the power of our spoken words, and even things we say in attempt to be humorous, like how are they truly affecting someone? Something that you may be thinking is a joke or something that would be funny, it may actually be hurtful or maybe derogatory to someone. And that's not our intent as a Proverbs 31 woman. And our intent is to minister daily, in and out. So the power of the spoken word is absolutely tremendous. And it's really quite incredible if you stop and look at it. If you have time today, I highly encourage you to just do a little research on YouTube. There are multiple experiments out there. There's even an experiment done on water. What water does whenever you speak to water, similar to the experiment using rice, but they used water. And it was just incredible for me I was just blown away by really how powerful words are. I also know there's a video, I didn't look at it this morning, but there was a video on YouTube at one point in time. My boys and I have studied this in the past, but there was a video, and what they did was they played, hard rock or some of these other types of music, and then froze the water crystals. The patterns were totally different. And it was just, I know it's vibration based, but still at the same time, even the music that we play impacts us tremendously. There's even, I didn't watch all of the videos, there's even some implications that our thoughts can affect rice and water as well. I haven't tried that one, but I could see how powerful our thoughts are. And to be quite honest, our words reflect what's in the heart. And that can seem kind of harsh, but it's reality. And I try to tell my boys this all the time. If what's coming out of your mouth is anger, or if it's bitterness, or it's jealousy, if it's anything negative, it reflects what's in the heart. So once again, how can we minister if our heart is cold or hard? So I just want to encourage you today to take a minute to think about what your words are saying to those around you. What do they mean? How do they affect your children? How do they affect your husband? If you're not married, how do they affect those around you? Maybe coworkers or fellow students. Wherever your season of life may take you, your words are impacting the people around you. And as a Proverbs 31 woman, married or not, it is our goal to minister to those around us. And so what comes out of the heart, if it's to minister, it has to be a heart of love. It has to be a heart of joy, peace, long suffering, all those fruits of the Spirit. And so I just want to encourage you to take a minute today, think about those things, and to stop, take a minute and ask the Lord. He promised He shall give it to you liberally if you lack wisdom. So as I said, I have struggled with this myself. As a young married woman, years ago, I remember making some jokes about my husband that were maybe a little off color, and he would laugh, but it wasn't until years later that he told me just how deeply my words affected him and how much they hurt him. And thankfully, he's a forgiving person. He's a man of God. He was able to move past it and to forgive me. And I have done my best to try to overcome that and to speak only positive things to him. And yeah, we all fall, we all fail, but a simple apology, genuine apology, will go a long ways in correcting that wrong. So I pray that this is a blessing to you today, an encouragement in some small way. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day.